other realms, and their physical body did not know how to express and handle what they saw and what they dealt with, and so therefore it broke the mind. That's just my opinion, and that's why I want to work in that field. And I know a lot of you conscious people and awakened people have such a bad thing to say about psychology and psychologists, and no, I'm not that kind of psychology and psychologist, and I won't be, because I'm going at every angle, which means I understand I got to touch the flesh and touch the spirit. I'm working on many dimensions, and we all need to, and I love you guys very much. I appreciate you for bearing with me and my camera difficulties. I don't understand it, and I won't understand it, and I'm not even trying to understand it, and that's big for me. I'm just doing what I was put here to do, and that's being divine and birthing divinity. So I want you to find out what you were put here to do and birth it. Become creators. And that's for the men too. Let me tell you something. You guys have as many wounds as we do. You really do. Men give birth to women. Please understand that. That man has seed. He gives birth. He gives birth through his mouth. He gives birth through his mind. He gives birth through his hands. So I mean, yes, we are womb men, and it's a different type, but that does not mean that they're not able to give birth. They don't give birth in the same ways that you do, and that's the reason why they don't. It's mayat. It's called balance, and that's why they're able to do it the way that they did, so that we could keep that balance and we could keep ego out of it. Like, we just gotta really grow up. All of us, myself, I gotta grow up, and I'm still growing, and I will be growing. And another thing, be careful with people who are divine, or who walk in a type of divinity that are kind of manipulative. Because people will try to manipulate you because they have their agenda and they've learned how to work energy, so they want you to do and work for them. Be very wary of that. I just went through a situation like that, and one of the people was like, well, you're not talking to me in love. And they felt like I wasn't talking to them in love because I called them out on their selfish and inconsiderate behavior, and I would not let them move me. And that's big for me because I'm a compassion person. Like, I am compassion, 98% compassion, which means I will feel sorry. I will empathize, and I'm an empath. So all of those things will make me want to come to your defense and your aid. And I was so proud of myself because they was like, what about me? And I was like, what about you? I have learned to love me first. Loving me first does not mean that I won't sacrifice myself or that I won't put myself last, because sometimes the highest act of love for self is to come to the aid and the defense of your brothers and your sisters in this realm or in other realms. But sometimes loving yourself is knowing when you're being played and manipulated and not giving into temper tantrums and or manipulation and or I don't even know another word for it. But yeah, not giving into that BS, because it was BS. And you don't have to be used to be of service, to give yourself up. There's a difference. There's a difference in being of service and being used up. You're not required to be beat up on in this realm. Now, sometimes some things are going to come. But see, that's what I mean. When you get your emotions in check, you can know when you're supposed to move out, when you're supposed to pull back. And sometimes, to a certain degree, you will be used. But you won't be played while being used, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But this is just what's on my heart to say, so I'm going to say it. And I don't know if it's making any sense. I just woke up like 15 minutes ago, and it's whatever. You have to learn how to love you first. Loving you first means honoring yourself by, first of all, being true to who you are. Like, I'm learning now. I don't close up my throat chakra as much as I used to. Now, the difference is I'm learning how, when I do express from my throat chakra to my, with everything that I can, try to be honest. But loving is being honest. I'm not gonna, so often we swallow down things that bother us, and that's what I didn't do the other day. I was like, no, I'm gonna let you know. For me, don't make plans for me without considering and or asking me about the plan. That's selfish and that's inconsiderate, and I don't like that. I didn't like that. And nobody should like that. It's very presumptuous. Don't do that. Don't make plans for me. That's not your job to do, because you don't know what I have going on. And see, we gotta be careful that we don't allow other people to indulge too much on us. And this is what I mean by bringing other people and how they can be a distraction to higher purpose. Because when you are being spirit led, in an instant, things change. You have to kind of flow, like, for real, flow with it. You got to flow with it. You can't be too hard. You can't be too fixed, because things change at a moment. There are times that I wake up and Spirit says, go back to sleep and rest your heart. Your heart needs rest today. When the heart is tired, the body is tired. Go back to sleep. There are times that I wake up, like today, every stat that I did was, I woke up, wrote a stat, and went back to sleep. Woke up, wrote a stat, went back to sleep. That's how it works. Now, I don't even know or remember what I was told in the dream that made me wake up and just immediately turn over and write that and go back to sleep. But we have to be that moldable and movable and bendable and pliable and shapeable to what the universe is leading us to do. Another thing, and if you don't, you're going to miss a lot of divine opportunities and appointment. And one more thing, I just lost the thought. Maybe I don't need to say it. Anyway, people will distract you from that. All of this stuff, this Eddie Long stuff, a lot of the stuff that makes mainstream news is just to get you off your A game, get you off of your divinity, to mentally manipulate you to be somewhere other than where you need to be and now. So we have to be wise enough to recognize that. I love you guys, and I don't know what I was going to say, but evidently it wasn't meant for me to say. I love you, I love you, I love you. I will keep you guys posted as I make the transition from Starfly Awakening to the new page. I do have the YouTube channel now. I still need to do some decoration there. I just don't really have time. And I thank you for being supportive and being a part of me, and I really wish and pray the best for you. I pray that you come into your divinity, and that I pray that you understand that you're worthy of being divine. That is not a hit against anyone else or anything else. It just is who you were made to be, and it's okay. That's not ego to be divine. It just is what it is. And before you were flesh, you were spirit. So don't let them limit you to fleshly things. Don't let them edge out God. You know, that's not one thing I want to say. You know, we start opening the pineal gland up, and we start seeing with our God eyes, and we become goddess and God. And then they start hitting you with lower frequency stuff to piss you off, to reclose that gene. So you get a little bit of an opening, and then you read something that shuts it back down. You get a little bit of an opening, and then you speak in a conversation that shuts it back down. So everything, you know, is trying to constantly edge God out, ego. Don't let them do it. I got that from somebody else. That isn't mine, because, you know, people be tripping. Don't let them do it. Don't let them edge the God out of you, or the goddess out of you. And don't be a bitter goddess. Don't be the men ain't this and the men ain't that. That's so much error in that. Don't do it because they didn't get it right, so now you gotta get it right. And men, don't be that way about yourself. Understand the flow of spirit. Even when you are effing up, it is divine will, cosmic will. Do we fall out of? Yes, but I believe there are if and then statements for everything. And if we choose to look with our full eye, we will see nothing is coming that we did not need for it to happen on some level for us to be our higher and or best selves. Everything that has happened or that is happening to put us in position to walk in our higher selves. I really believe what happened to us in Kemet is we became more and more. We started we got a love for the lower vibration things. You know, we wanted to eat whatever we wanted to eat, and we wanted to have sex however, whenever, with whomever. And every time we did that, we started walking out of our God self. And that's why they started shedding, I believe, the divine intelligence of all began to close up parts of the mind. Because it was like, hey, you cannot operate in your full power stuck on this stuff, because this stuff is so temporal. Life is temporary. Living is eternal. This stuff is temporal. So, you're going to get caught up in your kingdom here on earth when you have traveled galaxies. When you are a galaxy, you're going to get caught up on this one facet of self. When you are omnipotent being in your own right. And I know that makes people mad. I know only the Most High is. No, you're omnipotent. It's that I made you in my image. I gave you the ability to do everything that I do. I give you the ability to speak and it become life. I give you the ability to think it and it manifests. I give you the ability to move and create mountains and hills and plains. And we're not doing it because we're so hooked on the drugs of now. And the drugs of now is not just cocaine. Those things are distractions. If we ever got to the place where we did like those women and sat down in our divine power and said, hell no, it's not going to be any more war on this street, and began to converse divine speech with other people, it would connect with the divinity in them, and they would begin to change their ways. But we're too caught up on our own issues because we're not willing to do the self-work. And if this is not speaking in love, I don't know what is. See, that's what people don't want to hear. And they'll say, oh, you're not speaking in love. That's not love. No, that is love. Love is holding a mirror to somebody and saying, see? Love is holding a mirror to yourself and looking and saying, oh, wow, dang, I got a funky attitude. I have a funky attitude when it's not called for. Sometimes I need to be funky because the funkiness is going to move what needs to be moved. I need to be in my warrior segment position. And sometimes I'm just tripping off of old issues. And I've gotten used to operating in this old lower vibrational BS. And I need to check myself. And that's love. That's highest love. That is higher love. That is beautiful. So I just want to encourage each of you to begin to shine like Ra. He's shining on me, so that made me say that. Anyway, be like Ra. Shine. Be like the nectar. Move, create. You are made in the image of God and Goddess. You are a beautiful love being of light and darkness that moves in perfect balance of Mayat if we choose. If we choose to change the way we think and the way we feel and the way we act, we can do greater things than has already been done. See, that's what every generation is supposed to do. Not regress, but progress. But because we have been robbed from understanding how to think 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. See, all this stuff, I'm this and I'm that, for you, that means nothing. What are you doing for the ones that will come through you, that they will come out of the canal of your wombs and from your seed already knowing they're divine, that they don't have to go through the deep sensitizing and to feel again and learn how to maneuver their emotions and work, because emotions have their place and you do need to acknowledge and address them, because if you don't, they sit under the surface of your thoughts and you become led by underthought without even knowing you have an underthought, thinking that your motives are pure when they are not. Anyway, I'm loving you and I'm loving me and I'm loving all. And I'm grateful for this day. And I'm grateful for each of you who have been a part of my journey, whether you have come in what I would call a negative light or a positive one. Each of you have been effective to make me the woman and help me to awaken into my goddess self. And to know that it was okay to say that and not feel like I was being, trying to be all that. You are all of that, but be all of that for the right reasons and put it to the right use. I love you, divine beings of all image reflections of the Most High, of divine intelligence. Be creators, starseed, be creators. Create in love. Even if you have to retaliate or have to use vengeance, don't do it for righteous indignation that is not really righteous, because you want to prove who you are. In your living, let yourself be proven, not by your words. And even for those who don't receive you as the person that you are. It's not a reflection of who you aren't. It's just not for them to see. Be yourself. You have nothing to prove. I love you. Namaste. And I say